Loading game session. Round 1. Your objective is to hide with your teammates.
What's going on, guys? This is Rain and Stormwake, and today I have a couple special guests with me, and we're going to be talking about Manhunt and AC3. I have Esco Blades with me, who is awesome, obviously, works for Ubisoft, plays Manhunt. He's the man. He's a very prominent member of the community that's really helped out the community a lot. Say hello to everyone, Esco.
Hey, thanks, man. Hi, everybody. Yeah, thanks for that introduction. That was quite great.
And I also have Giaquino718. He is the leader of my clan, one of the best Manhunt players throughout all 3 games, so I definitely wanted to have him here for this Manhunt Part 3 special for my 2,000 subs. What's up, Gia?
Yay, what's up, peeps? What's up, Raiden? How's everyone doing today?
And so yeah, let's talk about Manhunt. I'm gonna start off with Gio. Like, what do you think of Manhunt so far? How are you liking the game? What do you think about competitive Manhunt? Let's start there.
I think the game is great. As far as Manhunt, I've been playing a lot of it lately. I would say 70% of what I've played is Manhunt. It feels... I mean, it has like a Revelations vibe to it, but it feels smooth like ACB at the same time. And that's a good thing. That's not a horrible thing, don't get me wrong. That's actually a really good improvement. As far as competitive Manhunt, I've been enjoying myself with that too. And I think that's because the smoke bomb isn't a wall. It's not like a brick wall.
Absolutely.
Like, it's not as stressing to deal with. And
Yeah.
I feel like that just makes everything so much better. So yeah, both definitely have my thumbs up. And you will see me playing both competitive, and you'll see me in ranked a lot.
Absolutely.
This game is great.
Yeah, about Smoke Bomb, I mean, so many people talk about, oh, it's the same as Revelations, it's still overpowered. Well, I've tested it extensively, as I'm sure you guys have as well, and it is not like Revelations. The radius is smaller. I'm pretty sure the height is smaller. Either the height is smaller, or they made things over the height, so you can acro over the height, like fences and stuff that normally in Revelations, like, you would be knocked off of it. Like, it doesn't happen in this game.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you remember? And I brought this up in Esco's video when I tried smoking churns off that fence,
off one of those fences
me
in Boston. Which Boston?
Boston North
End. Yeah, those
like,
fences.
I walked up to her all cocky, and I'm like, I'm totally gonna smoke her with this OP smoke bomb off the fence, and
I was there.
happened.
I was on your team. Yeah.
I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
So from
and
I guess from like a sort of similar standpoint, but the smoke bomb has been obviously, and big thanks to Tim Brown, who's really been communicating the community and stuff on a lot of these issues. And I guess just to toe the company line a little bit, for people who have any issues with the game, make sure you leave them on the forums, because the team at IDC are going over those. But with regards to smoke bomb, there's been changes to its actual properties, and this is going off what Tim's told people and Tim's told me as well. And I've definitely noticed that the axis in both directions, horizontal and vertical, has been tweaked a little bit and reduced a little bit. It's like, I mean, if anybody really wanted to do some video sort of collation of that, but I mean, going off what I've tested, what Rainin has tested, and what Gia has tested, I mean, like, the smoke bomb is different. If you're in a position where you're that low to the ground, in an acro position, then the smoke bomb really should be taking you off that in the first place, because you're putting yourself in danger, right?
I mean, if your feet are like, a few feet off the ground, like, it makes sense that they could do something to you with anything, like an ability. So. And
then you've got to take into account with the crafting as well. I mean, the maximum duration is now 3.8, and unless I'm mistaken, I'm sure it was a little bit longer if you crafted it for long lasting in both Brotherhood and Revelation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was either 4 or 4.2.
Oh, yeah, it was in the 4s, right? So it's like, I know that those split seconds can make a whole lot of difference. And then, of course, you've got the huge-ass cooldown. Even when you take into account overall cooldowns and everything else that you can do to bring that down, it's still a lot longer than what we were used to. And then, of course, if we're talking about Manhunt, you suddenly don't have reset cooldowns anymore. It's like, so that completely changes the dynamic. Well, it changes the dynamic enough that the way a lot of teams used to play with the defensive rounds in Manhunt is suddenly not quite viable anymore, because you can't just die a certain number of times and then get reset cooldowns on every death, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I really, like, as fun as it was to play super aggressive defense and just get your resets and just go back in there and just stun the fuck out of everybody. Like, it was fun, but at the same time, it didn't feel right. And I think G agrees with me, and I'm sure you probably do too, Esco, that it's nice that defense is harder, and you have to be more, like, smart with your abilities, more careful with your abilities, and there's more of a time where you're working without abilities. Like, it takes more skill to play defense, and I've always promoted things taking more skill, so I'm very happy with that.
Oh yeah.
I'm happy with it too.
Yeah, I agree.
Basically, you have to make the most out of your abilities. You have to use them at the exact right moment if you want to get the most out of it. Because if you drop your smoke and you're getting nothing out of it, well, you have 100 seconds till you get your next one, unless you're using like overall cooldowns and things to like decrease duration.
Yeah. It promotes a little bit more of that social stealth element as well. Because I found myself when I've been playing with you guys, in fact, I have a gameplay that might go up soon after this, where it's like I find myself blending a lot more, and I find myself also hanging with people like Nick, who's been bringing it on occasions to Manhunt, people with Morph and those who are using Blender as well, because it's like that split second where, you know, people have come into and have seen a group. It's like if they haven't brought firecrackers, it's suddenly like, right, I need to make sure I've got the right one, and that little bit of indecision is a lot of the time all you need to get a stun off or two. You know, it's all about point differentials, right? You need to make sure that engagement is point neutral or point advantageous to you. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, also another thing that I just thought of, like, you brought up Morph.
Yeah.
Morph is an ability, you use it and it goes on cooldown once you use it, and it's an ability that you preemptively use. And Tripwire is just like that. And while Tripwire was not that great in ACR, I think part of the reason was because of resets, because you could get those resets and you could go back at the team and you know, you'd have your smoke and your mute every time. Tripwire, you put it down like right at the beginning of the match where you want it, in a good spot. You know, some people are really good at placing them. I've gotten pretty good. I've been using it a little bit lately, but I feel like it's much better in this game because there is no resets. Like once the team's finally there, I mean, and they hit your tripwire, a lot of times it's up again. You can use it again. So I really feel like overall, considering like what abilities are in the game and everything like that, it was a great decision to take out reset cooldowns.
Yeah,
I agree. I definitely agree. Seeing Havoc use Tripwire, I'm just like, wow, it's actually not that bad. Throws everybody off. Because, I mean, you figure, if you have a whole team running in, or even like 2-3 people, if they all run into that Tripwire, you're not going to be able to stun all three. But that gives your team enough time to come in and drop those clean smokes.
Absolutely.
Because they're stuck in that Tripwire, so they can't do anything.
It sets it up. It's
exactly.
It's the start of your defensive move. To
start of the stun lock.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
So yeah, well, speaking of stunlock, actually, that's been a bit of a debate. I mean, you know, what's your guys' take on that?
As far as it not being in the game?
No. Well, it is to a certain extent. It's like it's never so like the traditional ACB stunlock. I think is what everyone's talking about. That was just stand people and hit the B button and But then like it's progressively gotten less effective. I mean, Revelations, you couldn't really do that, but there was still a way. It's like those of us who understood the intricacies of the max stun range and stuff. There was ways that you could do it on slightly less aware players, and to a certain extent you can kind of do the same thing in AC3 if you know exactly what you're doing. But like we mentioned before, it's all about smart use of abilities, and if you want to keep a team down long enough for the cooldowns to come into effect and then come back again, you're gonna have to use the ability smartly and stuff. I think like we're given a lot of the tools to use: smoke, firecrackers, knives. You can get 3, maybe 4 stuns if you're lucky, if you're good. I guess.
Speaking of abilities, let's talk a little bit about some of these new abilities. A couple of them are a little bit overpowered in my opinion. What do you guys think about wipe? Like, I'll let you guys go first on wipe here. Like,
I think wipe is
so
underpowered. I think it's underpowered for
You
what
think
a
it's
lot.
underpowered?
Well, in comparison to what it's replacing, it's coming in for mute, and mute was like, you know, if you knew how to use mute properly, you know, it was as effective to a certain degree as smoke in that it did what it needed to do, and
Right.
it just obviously had less of a duration and less, but like, you know, so as effective, not necessarily as powerful. I think those two things need to be understood for starters. But it's like wipe doesn't prevent, you know, the person you're trying to you're just trying to stop them from using abilities.
Yeah.
So it's
that's
like
true. You're talking from a defensive standpoint here, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at it from an offensive.
Yeah.
Like, if
Yeah. I think me and
you
G are
could
thinking
throw this thing, when you use it at minimum, you can stop someone from using their abilities for 5 seconds minimum.
Yeah.
I believe that gets boosted up to about 7 seconds if you craft it for duration. That is so
5
OP.
seconds, then 7.5, and then 10.
That is so OP.
Crafted for
Just
maximum
imagine
duration.
sitting there like meshed, you know, just because your abilities won't come out. I just think it's insanely OP as far as duration and the fact that you can throw it. Like, at least with mute, you can only mute someone for about a second unless you craft
Yeah.
it for like long lasting. Then you'll get like a little more out of it. And I really think that the little more made a difference, but it's not, you know, 5 seconds.
Right, exactly.
But
Yeah,
from a
so,
defensive standpoint, yeah, it's really not that
Loading
great
game
Do you think-
session.
compared to offense.
I think I know the other ability that Rainian's going to mention, which is Animus Shield. And I'm just
Yeah.
imagining a situation where a couple of players in a team have mute, throw that effectively to nullify abilities of a defensive team, and then even if they don't close the gap between themselves and that team by the time the 5 seconds have run out, the two people attacking walk in with Animus Shield with however many charges and just ignore the smoke bomb, and they're
Exactly.
like, yeah, see you guys later. So
Yeah,
that
pretty
suddenly
much.
becomes a viable tactic.
Yeah. I feel like Animus Shield is like a necessity in this situation because like Animus Shield can be used against wipe, it can be used against thrown smokes, against thrown abilities, against just everything. And I feel like if Animus Shield wasn't in the game, wipe would be even more overpowered.
That's
So I'm
true.
actually glad that they have Shield in the game. It's kind of like an equalizer. It kind of helps balance things. But it's definitely really good. Definitely up there with Smoke Bomb, and not as good as Wipe, but definitely up there.
I've used it, and it's pretty effective, especially if you know, and a lot of this game is about getting into the head of your opponents. If you know the tendencies of your opponents, then you know exactly when to. You have to preemptively use it, right? So it's like
Absolutely.
if you feel you're getting some heat in terms of a thrown ability or a ranged ability or whatever, then you know you need to hit that before the ability hits you. Otherwise, it's completely useless. But yeah, it's really good in that if you can time it right, you suddenly open up a whole lot of possibilities. And the other thing is that a lot of people have asked, and I don't know if many people have noticed, but if somebody uses Animus Shield, you can see the aura around them, just as like you
Yeah.
can see it around yourself.
Yeah, it's like
you
a little
can see it,
spinning,
yeah. It's
shield
faint,
thing.
but
Yeah.
you can notice it as well. So
Can you actually see the charges? Because that's something I haven't picked up on. If
I
you
haven't
can.
seen that either myself.
No,
I don't think.
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Okay.
Maybe, hold on, maybe if you shield, no, because you still see it when someone's going through your abilities.
Yeah.
I was saying, what if it disappears once, it breaks through an ability? But no, it still sticks around.
That's
so I
definitely
don't know.
something to test out. I mean, like, you just
Yeah, definitely.
look for 3 charges and then test it out in like a.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we haven't had enough time to test out.
Yeah.
Like, our clan at least hasn't had enough time to sufficiently test out all the abilities. Every time we try to get a clan scrim together, like, we play like 2 or 3 games, and like, someone has to go, and then someone else has to go, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, maybe another day.
Yeah. Speaking of clan stuff, tournaments coming up.
Oh, tournaments.
Ornaments.
Yeah.
Tournament's what, next month? Or is it this month? Or
I think it's.
when is it?
I think it's this month. Citizen had to reschedule it, but I think it's this month.
Oh, it is still
You-
this month.
You're talking about the Manhunt?
Oh,
or
it's the Manhunt.
free
Oh
call?
yeah, I think the one.
Yeah, the Manhunt.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, he did reschedule it. I just wasn't sure on the date though, but I'm definitely gonna start preparing for it this weekend. And start practicing and stuff. Well, I've been playing, you know, in general, but I want to play with my actual team, so.
Yeah, we need to get some scrims together for sure. I mean, I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I can't find anyone good. Like, I just find either, you know, newer players or like medium level players that are just shooting, and like I can't find any good competitive players for the most part.
I find that the guys that do stick around are some of the guys that watch my videos, believe it or not. But like, as far as like the Abstergo ladder players, I don't mean to sound mean, but a lot of them back out. Like,
absolutely.
When I join their lobby and I play, you know, like I join their game late, I'll play it out, and then I say to myself, you know, will they stay? And then they end up backing out, and I'm just like, oh man.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of the Abstergo ladder if everyone's avoiding, you know, playing against each other because they want to preserve their rank? Like,
yeah, and it's only Manhunt. In Assassinate, they will get down, you know, they will throw down and Assassinate, but Manhunt, at least for me, like when I go in the Manhunt, like no one say, I mean, even me and you know, we ran into people and people have backed out.
Yeah.
I guess you have that situation where it's like, unless you're playing another organized group of 4, right? The people come in and they think, oh well, this is an organized group, so I'll stick it out and see what I can do. And if it looks like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do anything, well, I have the excuse to fall back on. Oh, I was playing solo and I wasn't playing with my team. You know, that classic one. It's like, if I bring my team, and it's like, yeah, if you bring your team. So it's one of those. It's a classic problem in most multiplayer games, let alone Assassin's Creed. But
yeah. I mean, it's one thing if it's like, you know, we have a team of 3 and there's one good player on the other team and he's forced to play with, you know, a bunch of newer players and he backs out. Like that's understandable. Like okay, like no big deal.
Yeah.
But if it's like me and Gia versus like 2 other people that are like both way higher ranked than us, I mean, obviously that doesn't equate to more skilled, but it's 2v2 and then they back out. Like that's kind of what we're talking about. Like just avoiding confrontation. Like, and I don't feel like that's good for the game at all.
Yeah, totally agree. Well, actually, while we're here, I guess congratulations are in order to both of you, I suppose. Reigning for it's 2,000. I almost said
2,000. Yeah.
Yeah, 2,000
actually
subs.
Oh yeah, that's right, Reigning for 2,000 subs.
Congratulations.
That's right.
A lot of subs lately, so thank you everyone who subscribed to me lately, and anyone else who does subscribe. And you guys should definitely check out both of these guys' channels. I will put the link in the description. Esco Blades puts out awesome Assassin's Creed stuff, not just multiplayer, single player. He puts out Weapons of Assassin's Creed, like
everything you can think of. He is the Assassin's Creed universe man.
He is an assassin.
Flying around in his AC spaceship.
He's an assassin. Esco Blades.
I guess congrats to Gia as well, who's just, I think we could talk about it now because you've announced it on Twitter, so it's not a secret. But congrats on your mission partnership. To go
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh.
And thank you for all you've done with that, like, as far as helping out. Like, I'll say it again. It's definitely been a big help.
It's really nice to see. This is what we've always wanted, right? It's like really nice to see people like yourself and Rain and a lot of our community and like a lot of the competitive side of stuff as well coming through and being given a chance to showcase stuff on the big stages, you know, Rainy with like TGN and stuff, and you with Machine Man. It's good. I think it's always a good thing. You can look at other communities and see how those have developed and see how the publishers are embracing YouTube. And it's like, we have a voice. We command a sizable audience that's growing. And it's like, might as well use that for something good, right? So
yeah, I mean, we may as well help each other. Like, I feel like the people who go out of their way to help people, the people that they help, they then become inspired to help people, you know, work their way up. And it's just like a chain reaction type thing. Like, I definitely would want to help someone who I feel like has a special talent at making videos. You know, you don't have to be good at the game to make amazing videos. Like, on any game, you know, as long as you're entertaining, as long as people who are viewing your YouTube videos see something special out of something you do, they're going to sit back, they're going to enjoy it, they're going to sub to you, and your channel's going to grow. So I definitely want to help people who I feel like, you know, yeah, they're really entertaining.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I know this is the case for me, and I know it's the case for Gia. I'm pretty sure both of us, we started making videos at the same time, but I mean, I started making videos like mainly because I wanted to help people get better at Assassinate.
Yeah.
But I mean, the game in general, but mostly Assassinate, because I felt like Assassinate was one of the most underplayed modes ever. Like, people just didn't give it a chance. In ACB, like there were so many good players that did play it, but I mean, like there were so many people that wouldn't touch it. And then like once me and you started putting out videos with Assassinate and like a few other people, like people started seeing that Assassinate, you know, it looks fun. They're like, wow, that really looks fun. And you know, I'm gonna give it a chance. And a lot of people have given it a chance, and now they really like it. And that, like, that to me is a success. Like, I feel like my videos have been a success because I've made people enjoy the game more. I've made people enjoy my favorite mode more. And I know G is the same way with, you know, just Assassin's Creed. Like, he wants the community to grow. He wants more people to play. He wants people to learn. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Assassinate's my second favorite mode, so I definitely put out videos supporting it. And now I feel like it's the most popular mode as far as like competitive play. I mean, I put out videos to teach people or show people my way of playing Manhunt, you know, in hopes that, oh, well, you know, I can look at this and I could learn from this.
Yeah.
Take this, go on the ranked and get better scores. And I've gotten a lot of feedback, you know, a lot of thank yous saying, you know, thank you for helping me out with this, that, and that. And it's really cool. I mean, Manhunt's never been, you know, a small mode. Like, it's always been popular.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, it's always been one of the most popular.
But for me, you know, I don't want like a new player to just go in the ranked and just get thrown around and say, I don't want to play this Assassin's Creed multiplayer anymore. I'll go back to Call of Duty, or I'll go back to this or that, or a single player game, and just never touch it again. Like, I want people to say, wow, you know, this game is unbelievable. All I have to do is get used to these things. I have YouTube, you know, at access, and I can go online, I can look at these videos and I can learn, and then once I get used to these things, I'll be able to do good.
It's funny you mention that, because it's like that's again the whole thing with being able to get people's attention on the big stages, and being able to, you know, point them in the direction of people who are doing great stuff with Assassin's Creed, both single player and multiplayer. And that's kind of like, you know, that's part of what myself and Steven do with the Initiates project. But it's like I was on a different forum to the UB forums the other day, and we were just browsing, and there was a thread there that was Assassin's Creed multiplayer, and there were like 6 people having this discussion, and I mentioned, oh yeah, the competitive side of stuff is really growing. And they all were kind of like, the responses I got to that was like, wait, there's a competitive Assassin's Creed community? And I was like, and I'm like, oh wow, okay. And then I'm pointing them in the direction of people making videos. I think I linked to Evil Assassin, one of Evil Assassin's videos. I linked to yours, I linked to Rain's, I linked to a few other people, and I showed them some of the tournament stuff from Brotherhood, and I'm like, yeah, we do this. It's like, this is stuff that's happening, and this is stuff that's growing. And you know, it's an eye-opener for people like that, because like they just think, oh, you know, I get into situations, and you know, just talking about abilities and seeing how they do stuff, and then like them going, oh, you know, I watched the video from this person, and it's like, you know, he wasn't particularly great at the game. I'm like, you can watch this person because they play it well, and talking about abilities and how they use them, and you know, opening their eyes to things like that. So it's like you realize that we're still growing. We still have so much that we can do. We're still growing as a community, and we're still growing as a presence on YouTube and on Vimeo and on all these different places. And it's like, I think it should be celebrated. I think it should be encouraged, and the more that we can do that, the better. And yeah, I think people, if you go out and do the best that you can with your videos, and you know, they'll come to light. And you know, other people, there's enough of us now in positions where we can help other people. So, you know, let's do it. Let's let people see. And that's what I'm really excited for. GS stuff on Machinery Respawn. I really want to see how they take that, because it's going to be in a format that they can understand. It's going to be in a format that they can kind of like consume, you know. Like I said, we already have some great directors on Machinery, but to have more on, and even absolutely, in other, and not just Machinery, in other places, there's some people who are putting stuff up at Yaush. You know, you've got really budding community with Rainian and other people, Games Beverage on TGN. So it's like, if we're in different places and we're able to showcase stuff, that's good for us. That's good for us as a community. That's good for Annecy to see in that, look, this is getting more popular, so let's do stuff to make this stay popular and give, you know, the players the tools that they need to increase. You know, I don't know, the sky's the limit. That's the way I see it.
Absolutely.
Sky is the limit, and I think it's cool that we're all divided out on, you know, different networks, because like you said, that's a lot of exposure, and to me I think that's the maximum amount of exposure for the community, when people are divided out and, you know, everyone isn't under one network. Like you said, Rainan's with TGN, you know, you have Wingspan TT doing things for like Pixel Enemy, and then me, you, and a few others for Machinima. Like everything's divided out, and I feel like the networks that don't know about the AC community, they're bound to stumble upon either Machinima, Pixel Enemy, or TGN and say, wow, you know, this is really cool. Let me go ahead and check this out.
Let's support it in some way. It's all about, you know, once the support is there, then it's just about putting, you know, and it's a variety of content. It's like you can have gameplay commentaries, you can have montages, you can have top 5 plays, you can have you know, beginners, intermediates, and expert guides to different modes. You can have a whole ton of stuff. You can have funny clips. You know, it's just getting it out there. It's about exposure. It's like you see some of the top selling games in the world and their multiplayer components. It's because people got to see it. It's like, so yeah, that's the way I view it.
Alright, so thanks for joining me, guys. It's been really cool having you guys on my channel. Thanks everyone for watching. And hopefully we can do this again sometime on one of our channels. And it was fun. I had fun. And yeah, like, rate, and subscribe if you like this video, guys. Let us know what you think in the comments. And thank you for watching.
Peace.
Later, guys.
Your target has exposed you. You have finished first.
Hey!